talking with people not just here but elsewhere, the countries that perform best in respect of educational outcomes are those with less rather than more selection. Jersey has selection at more stages than possibly anywhere else in the world. So it's not the right structure. If I was starting today, I would not have the structure that you currently have, particularly in respect of sixth forms. And indeed, again, going back to my experience in Islington, we were desperate that we had a sixth form. It was vital to the school that we kept the brightest children. And because we were not big enough, we only had 1,200 pupils to provide a full range of sixth form courses. Yeah, we were in a consortium with 6 other schools to provide that outcome. So that, to me, is where I would like to be, but we're not there to start with. And I think that's the difficulty. You would not have this structure. And the inclusive report on education says the issue of selection at 14 and 16 needs to be addressed. It doesn't say how. And I think that's a really big task for the future. But I think it's absolutely, I think from preference, looking at Kennervay, which is looks like a brilliant building and by all accounts a really good school, and yet the kids have to leave, you know, if they want sixth form education, I think, you know, to come into town. And that's not right. I'm going to finish with one of the most awful comments I ever heard in the City of London Council. Because our academies were performing brilliantly. And the City of London also ran 3 independent schools. Somebody actually said we need to be very careful about our academies performing this well. If we're not careful, that will reduce the demand for our independent schools. You know? I cringed, you know, because I've seen at first hand what education can do for these kids. One of the events I promoted in the city was to get the prefects of the independent schools and the academies to come to a dinner together. You know, it was amazing, like a dance, the boys there and the girls there. The kids from the independent schools had dinner every night. Some of the kids from the academies had never had dinner with a knife and fork. It started awkwardly, but by the end they were dating each other. And I could see what was happening. The kids from the independent schools were thinking, these aren't all gangsters and idiots, they're like us. And far more important, the kids from the academies were thinking, I thought these people had brains the size of planets and were in a different league from us. They're not. We're as good as they are. So that dinner had a bigger effect on me, I think, in respect of education than anything else. So, Andy, I think that's a really big task for the next education minister. Any volunteers, please see me afterwards.
Thank you, Siobhan. Thanks so much.